in the Mishkan's Karbonis of the Chanukas HaMizbeach was connected or had to do with the idea of Nasa Koidem L'Nishma, that the Avoid of Yehuda's Apam Oidas Havayim, that's the idea of Nasa, that's like the first part of Krishma, Shema, before V'hoyim Shemoyam, and the same thing like Kabbalah Sol Mal Shemayim versus Kabbalah Sol Mitzvahs, the same thing before Limud Torah, there has to be the idea of Bittul, that's why we have to daven before we learn, or even in Torah itself, there has to be Nafshik Afla Kol Tia, or another thing that that he has to be dripping bitter gall, in other words, a state of bitterness and bittul. And now we're going to connect it with a question about how come by Shevet Yisachar is it different than all the other Shvatim that brought their kabbanis for the Chanukas HaMizbeach, that all the other Shvatim, it says first which Shevet they were, Nasi, Lebnei Yehuda, Nasi, Lebnei Reuven, and then it says the name. By Shevet Yisachar, it says the opposite. It says first, Nesanel ben Suar brought the carbon, Nasi, or Nasi Yisachar. I say, this idea is hinted in the name of the head of the Shevet of Yisachar, Nesanel ben Suar. This very idea that on the one hand it is the great mile of Torah, and that was the reason why Yisachar was the second one in line and should have ideally been the first one to bring the karbonos of the Messiah. And you need to have bittul beforehand. Before Torah you need to have bittul. That's also hinted in the name of Nesanel ben Suar. The name Nesanel, who Nosan Kael, the word Nesanel could be divided into two. That Hashem gave. Nosan, who Bechinas Matanam, that he gave, that's the level of a gift. The Torah was specifically given as a gift. Like Chazal say, but initially Moshe Rabbeinu studied Torah and he forgot it. Hainu, the reason for this is top of page Yud Aleph. Not the reason for this, but Hainu shafilu etzel Moshe Rabbeinu. Even someone of Moshe Rabbeinu's level, loy hoisa Torah b'chinas kiyum, the Torah was not in the way of remaining and constant. Ad shenitl lev matana, until it was given to him as a gift. So Hashem had to give the Torah as a gift for us to be able to have the Torah and have it remain with us. The Kael Roim is Alamad of Nesidus Chachma, and the word Kael hints at the 31 paths of Chachma. What's the significance? Altogether, there's 32 paths of Chachma. What's the 31? Kinesiv Halamad Beis Nikra Nesiv LeYedoi Oid, where it says that the 32nd path, that it says in it is a path that even Oyit, this type of bird that flies very high and all over, doesn't even know it, doesn't even recognize it, meaning even the highest levels cannot perceive, cannot get to the 32nd level of Chachma. And therefore, since it's beyond knowledge, Nosan Lamed Aleph, what is given from above, that is possible to be known, in a way of gift, it's only the 31 paths of Chachma. But does that mean we have nothing to do with the 32nd path? So the Rebbe says no. In the parentheses, the Rebbe says, only after the fact that he's involved in studies Torah for its sake. Then the Chazal say that the reward for Torah Lishma is that they revealed to him the secrets of the Torah. The secrets of the Torah is that 32nd path that is not given from above, that a person only earns after studying Torah Lishma. So that's Nosan Kael, that's Nesanel. But Nesanel is Ben. He's the son of something. Something has to precede Nesanel. So to be able to merit to this gift, the gift of the Torah, Nemar Nesanel ben Tzuar, that he has to be the son, Nesanel has to be the son and coming from Tzuar. She'inyan the Nesanel who ben Tzuar, the idea of Nesanel, the gift that comes from above Gabatoira, that's the son of Tzuar, Sheba Aidei Tzuar. He comes from and through Tzuar, Meloshen Mitzar, from the word small, constricted and constrained. Shemoira ala bittel, like it says over there by Lloyd, that it's Tzoyhar was Kimitzarhi. It's very small. Shemoira ala bittel the nafshi kafel koltia, that indicates the bittel of my soul is like dust before all, and only then can be psachli v'sirasecha, open up my heart in your Torah. So the same thing, Nesanel is ben Tzuar. After you have Tzuar, after you have the bittul, so then you can have Nosam Kel, you can have the Torah be given to you. By days of Boim Gamla Pirish Hasheni B'Tzuar, through this we come also to the second meaning in the word Tzuar, Shumul Shoin Tsar. It's from the meaning of the word Tsar, pain, suffering. Shazel Mashamar Azal, this is what Chazal said, Kihi Darkish, Kachi Darkish al Torah, this is the path of the Torah, this is the way how a person acquires Torah, through, he eats very little and he sleeps on the ground. And a life of suffering you should live, so then you will study Torah. So here the Rebbe is going to contrast this with the idea that we know that the reason why we need to have physical good and so on is to enable us to learn Torah. And why does Pirkei Avos say Chai Tzar Tichya is a way how to acquire Torah? So he says in line 15, the idea behind this is, though Torah study has to be in a way of comfort, like the Rambam writes in Hilchos Deis, it's impossible for a person could think and come up with ideas and wisdom, and he's hungry, etc. A person is afflicted and has problems, it disturbs his concentrations and his capabilities. So that a person should be involved in Torah study, he needs to have all physical matters, still and all. The Chazal said, the way of Torah, kachi darka shel Torah, is to live a life of suffering. What does that mean? On the one hand, we have everything that we need, and on the other hand, it's called a life of suffering. How can that be? Hainum shaloi lishtamish b'dvar magashmim b'rak ad kama shemuchloi b'shvil limrat Torah. A person should only use physical matters only to the degree that's necessary to study Torah. In other words, eat as much as it's necessary, so you should be satisfied, shouldn't be hungry, and then go study Torah. And practically speaking, if a person stuffs themselves, we see how much, after a Shabbos or Yom Tov meal, how little concentration we have for learning Torah. And also, not only does a person should only eat and engage in physical things as much as it's necessary for him to be able to have the freedom and the comfort of mind to be able to study, but even also that which is necessary for him to use. The delight and the pleasure of the physical things does not occupy and does not have any significance for him. The person looks at, okay, I can't wait to get to this toisvis, and I'm hungry, so let's get over the meal already, let's finish eating, and I'll be able to get to that toisvis, or to that maimer, or to that Perek in Shulchan Aruch or Mishnayos, because the food is only by him a fuel. It's like going to the gas station to fuel up your car. It's not a whole event of celebration and involvement. You go in, you go out, you're done, you go where you're trying to make it to. The same thing, even the food that he does put in, and even all the other physical needs that he has, so that his life should be comfortable enough so he should be able to study Torah. He's not preoccupied with the comforts. He's preoccupied with the goal. And he gives the example like it's going to be in Mashiach's times. Like it'll be in the days of Mashiach. Though there will be a lot of good, there will be a lot of everything that we want or need. And all delightful things are as available as a dust. Mikol Makim, still and all those things will not detract us and distract us from what our main pursuit should be. Despite all of those, all the plenty and bountiful things that will be, the entire involvement of the world will only be involved in knowing Hashem. How come? Page Yud Beis, because it'll be like dust. They will not have any importance. Their all entire value will be as valuable as dust. So the same thing he says over here, that the person realizes, even though he has everything that he needs to be able to learn Torah, but all those needs and all those benefits and all those physical matters, they're only like dust by him. It's only something completely of no significance in comparison to his Torah study. That's the whole reason why he has these needs. So that's why it's called Chaye Tza'ar. As he is going to conclude right now, that's the idea of the name Nitna'el ben Tzוער, Shaydei ha'avodah de Tzועar, Miloshayin Mitzar, through the avodah of Tzועar, from the expression of smallness. It's the bittul that my soul should be like dust before everyone. Shaydei and Nasagama in the Tzועar Meloshim v'Chaye Tza'ar Tichya. Through his bittul, it comes about that he has the tzor from the word that he lives a life of tsa'ar, of suffering, meaning not that he's suffering in actuality, but rather, though he has much physical, material things, he has no delight and enjoyment and pleasure in this whatsoever, since it's considered by the person like dust. From these two meanings in the word Tzuar, that's how it comes about the Nitna'el. Nitna'el is the son of, the child of. He's born from Tzuar, that meaning that the Torah is given to him through these avodas b'matana. Oizvov. Bayom, השני הקריב נתנאל ben Tzוער. That's what it says. Then the second day, the Nitna'el ben Tzועer, the leader of Yisachar, offered his sacrifices for the Chanukah Mishkan, or Chanukah Mizbeach, the Biom Harishon, the Hikriv Nachshon ben Aminadav Lamata Yehuda. The first day of the Chanukah Mizbeach, Nachshon ben Aminadav of the Shevet Yehuda offered. Shuhu Inyan HaBittul, the Moida Ani, V'chlos HaTfilah. He represents the Bittul of Moida Ani, and the Bittul of the general idea of Tfilah that needs to precede Torah. From that bittul of Nachshon ben Aminadav, from the Moidani and the general idea of davening, comes the Tzor, Meloshim Mitzar bittul, Meloshim Tzar, from the expression of Mitzar, which means bittul, and from the expression of Tzar, suffering. By days of Zoichel and Nitna'el, through that he merits to Nitna'el, Shemoida Limrat Torah V'Tachsa Shleimus. It indicates Torah study in the ultimate perfection, ba'ofen shel matana, in a way of a gift. By the eska Torah, through being involved in Torah, ba'ofen shel limud mevil de mais, in such a way that the Torah study brings to action. In Alzen Nemar, concerning this, it says, im, meaning kasher, b'chochos telechu, it means when you will go in my laws, shetiyu amelim b'Torah, that you will be toiling in Torah, ves mitzvos aytishmoidu, and you will observe my mitzvahs. You then I will give you your reigns in their times. And all the other brachas that are enumerated over there at the beginning of Parshas B'chol Kaisai, Ad liyudim di Maisa Mashiach, till the promises of the days of Mashiach. Shabai says man lo yisham lo rav lo milcham lo kinu v'sachras chulu. Then in the times of Mashiach there won't be any famine and no war and no jealousy and competition, etc. Over Proteus, and more specifically, Yushtet Kufis, there will be 2 eras and periods in the times of Mashiach. Betchila Yerak Bitol Shibud Malchus. Initially will only be the stoppage of the enslavement of the governments. We won't be under other governments who will enslave us and tell us what to do. Umashenemar, what it says in the Navi, Vigar Zevim Keves, that a wolf will live together with a sheep. It's only a metaphor for the Jewish people. They are likened to a lamb, and the wolf is likened to the 70 wolves, the 70 nations, that we will be at peace with them, like the Rambam wrote. But in the second era of Mashiach, then in the second era, in the miraculous era of Mashiach, there will also be that the wolf will live with the lamb in the simple sense. Like it's explained in Chassidus in many places. Then they will study and learn the Torah of Mashiach, that from Mashiach's mouth. That's the idea that says the beginning of Shir Hashirim, that he will kiss me from the kisses of the mouth, meaning that we will learn the secrets of the Torah until we fulfill the promise. That the earth will be filled with the knowledge of Hashem, like the waters covers the sea. It's very soon, and according to our understanding of speed and quickness.